Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Oh, didn't have my mic in. Good morning. Welcome to Revolution. Just so you know, today is not going to be. I'm not going to be giving a full talk today. I just wanted to give you guys an update. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have a talk prepared for tomorrow, and I will post a new talk tomorrow. So just turn on your alerts, and I'll also notify you guys on Instagram and Facebook. But a few cool things have happened, so I just wanted to kind of come in and give you a wee update about some really cool stuff that's happened this week, and maybe we can have some questions and things like that for a few minutes if you have any. But good morning. Well, first off, what was really great was the Tammy Faye on Broadway's first. They're doing their preview. Hey, Chuck and Linda. So yeah, they started their preview last night, and that was really exciting to see all the stuff and see all the friends who showed up to the event and all the people who came out. Saw Reverend Vince there, which was really cool. I got to send the cast a break a leg note, as you do in the theater. But yeah, so it was really cool to be able to talk to some of the cast and crew of the show, and then to be able to kind of see that their first night seemed to go really well. It looked like it was a packed house, and I'm really proud that my mom's legacy will continue. So yeah, that was great. Another really cool thing that happened this week was I got a few months ago I got invited to do a live podcast at a convention for analysts and therapists. There was a big convention they were doing, and it was. I was really nervous about it because you sit in a room full of analysts. I guess you're going to get analyzed. But I got to sit in a room with over 100 analysts and therapists, and it was a packed house. And I did a interview, and man, it was amazing. It was. Put it all out there. We had a great conversation. I think the podcast was live, so it was about an hour and 10 minutes. And it hasn't been released yet. I don't know if he's going to release it until next year or not. I'm trying to convince him to release it a little bit early just because I want you guys to hear it and see it. But we really, the gentleman who's interviewing me is also an analyst. So it was incredible. It was very, validating in a way, I got to speak with a lot of different analysts and therapists afterwards, and they seemed to be really interested in the work that we're doing here at Revolution. And they gave a standing ovation at the end of the talk, which I was just like blown away by. So yeah, it was really validating to make you feel like your life and your work is important. It's so funny. I was thinking about that was probably one of the most intimidating moments. One of my other most intimidating moments speaking in front of a live audience was a juvenile detention center. And I've spoken at prisons and I've spoken all over the world, in different places, but juvenile teenagers who've, troubled teenagers and psychoanalysts are the hardest people to have conversations with. are the ones who you're just like, oh, but these people really care what I have to say. So those are the most intimidating groups I've ever had to sit in front of, and both ended up being a real pleasure. But yeah, so I got to do that. It was just this Friday night, and it was really interesting. Was as they called me and said, "Hey, listen, we'll pay for your car to be valet parked because it's downtown Seattle, and that's insane down there." So I said, okay. So I pulled my car up, and the guy who parked my car for me said, "You're Jay Baker." And I was like, "Yes, I am." And he's like, "I used to go to this church in Atlanta, and your friend Bobby worked there, and Josh." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So this guy who's like, when he was a kid, knew all the people that I went to. Knew my friend Bobby, who I had just recently talked about, who I just found out had passed away recently. But he knew my friend Bobby, he knew my friend Josh, and all these different people at Mount Perrin Church of God back in Atlanta. And so it was like completely separate, to the talk I was about to give. But it was really, really cool just to kind of have that like weird moment of just, almost like a full circle. It's like the stuff I did in Atlanta and then coming in and talking to these analysts. So yeah. So again, just for you, who are just joining us, I'm going to be giving a live. I'm going to give a talk tomorrow, and release that. Gave a talk this week, and I've been doing stuff, and I've just gotten a little bit over my head, and I got the kids right now, so I'm not going to be able to give a full talk. But those are two things that are happening. So yesterday, I realized how fragile revolution is. My my son accidentally dropped my phone in the toilet, and luckily it survived because I'm here in front of you right now. But realizing how fragile, like how much depends on just revolution with our phone and stuff. We had a computer for a while, but unfortunately, someone who was working with me ended up getting addicted to drugs and destroying that. And it's been quite a hard couple of years for revolution to maintain, but we're doing our best. But man, that was weird. I was like, we could have lost the whole church just in the toilet, literally. So anyhow, that was weird. But yeah, listen. If you guys, I haven't been seeing the comments as much, but if you do have a question and I can see it, I'd be glad to answer a couple questions before we wrap up here. And I'll do a talk. Be doing a talk tomorrow when I have a little bit more time just to finish up what I was working on. But yeah, if anybody has any questions or anything, I'd be glad to maybe answer some questions. Use a little bit of this Sunday morning time together. So the only reason that if I'm not answering questions is because I just don't see them coming up on my phone, which usually they come up here in the corner. Give you a few minutes to type. Yeah, but it was so wild to see all the pictures and see the packed theater for the Tammy Faye on Broadway. I can't even tell you how like excited it is that my mom's legacy is being carried on like that, and by people like Elton John and Jake Shears and just all these amazing actors and the crew and the theater. I mean, what a legendary place to, this Palace Theater is just beautiful. Like if you guys haven't got a chance to see it, you can see some of my stuff on my Instagram and on my Facebook. I've posted some pictures, and I'm sure you can go to Tammy Faye Broadway. I think they've just posted tons and tons of small videos and kind of get an idea of what the cast looks like and what the set looks like and what the theater looks like. I should be going back November 15th. What is your top book recommendations we should be looking at? Okay, there's a good question. I'll tell you. There's so many books I really do enjoy, have impacted me over time. I like Shaking the Foundations by Paul Tillich. It's a collection of his talks and sermons. It's really incredible. That's the book that has You Are Accepted sermon in it. We go through every year. I can't recommend that book enough. It's just a treasure trove. Really, any of his collections of talks. I think the other one's called The Eternal Now. And I'm trying to think I think I have the third one over here somewhere. But I have hardcover, so, oh gosh. It's The Eternal Now and The New Being. And The New Being, that's the other one, The New Being. All by Paul Tillich. There's another great book I really like, oldie but goodie that really started me off is a book by Brennan Manning called The Ragamuffin Gospel. That's a really great book. I can recommend that. There's a book by Todd McGowan called Something After Hegel. I always forget the very beginning. But it's a book about Hegel by Todd McGowan. And it is, I think it's called Emancipation After Hegel. And it is a really, really, really incredible book. I can't recommend that enough. I also just read this book, White Poverty, by Reverend Barber, which is also a really, really fantastic book. So I would highly recommend those books. I was trying to think. I have a couple books back here that I really like. The Measure of a Man by Martin Luther King is an incredible book that I really like. Oh, and there's this one right here. Boop. I Gotta Be Me by Tammy Faye. Really, really cool. Really cool book by my mom. Really transparent. Really something that's pretty fantastic. And if you ever wonder where I get my rebellious spirit or my very transparent work comes from, read that book. It's she doesn't hold a whole lot back. So yeah, those are a few books I would recommend just off the top of my head. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video too. I think I'll do a special video of just like, I'll go grab like my top 20 books and just be like, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Oh, Messy Spirituality by Mike Yaconelli. That's another really good book. Yeah, I Gotta Be Me. What a great book, right? Messy Spirituality by Mike Yaconelli was also another book that had a profound effect on me. Oh gosh, A New Kind of Christianity by Brian McLaren. That was another big book that really had a big impact on me as well. So those are just a few of the books that I recommend. I'm often trying to read philosophy and theology and things like that, and I'll do some recommendations on those books. But you know, that stuff is so dry. It's good stuff, but it's just, you know, you kind of have to sit and wrestle with it. So yeah, I'm trying to see what I have just near me, if I have any of those. But a lot of the stuff I've been reading lately is pretty dry. So yeah, those are some book recommendations for you. Yeah. Of course, as always, we could really use your support. You know, just realizing yesterday even how fragile Revolution is. And, you know, one of the things about Revolution over the years, oh, here's another one. Oh, wow, thanks for the list. Cool. Yeah, replay the video and look at that. But, you know, one of the things is like understanding like Revolution's work is often been really based on, you know, it's always been more powerful when I have more community, more staff, more people volunteering and working with us. And that's just been really tough because I haven't really connected with a lot of people here in Seattle. And Josh is over in New York. So, you know, I would love to do more. Again, that just comes if we have a better budget and able to communicate more, and, you know, maybe even bring somebody on part-time to help me do this work, because I don't feel like I can do everything that we want to do, and I would love to be able to do that more. But literally at this point, we're just kind of living on fumes and doing the best we can. I had it's weird because I was sharing like the kind of the struggle of this work a little bit. And I've been doing some part-time work, but all that fell through this month for some reason. But I've been doing, I put up this thing about like, you know, sometimes this work feels like you're pouring like a watering can into a volcano, you know, it just doesn't, you know. And I got one comment, this was the best, telling me, well, you know, maybe it's time to move on. Maybe you should write a book about your life and just move on if something's not working. And that's just not how my mama raised me. I know my purpose and my reason for being here and to continue this work, come hell or high water right now. And that was affirmed even amongst speaking to all those analysts. I mean, it was just like, I had all these brilliant people coming up after me and telling me how important this work was, and the idea of arguing well and disagreeing well and bringing people together and practicing grace and living within doubt. I wrote a book called Faith and Doubt. I put that on the recommendation list as well if you want to check that out. But all the work I feel like we're doing is so vital and so important, especially in a world where we have so many divided groups of people, and in so many divided communities of people, and trying to bring people to have these tough conversations. And I often think that maybe we're just a little bit ahead of our time, but I think we really are heading into a place where this is going to have to be the way of the future, is that we have to learn to disagree well. We have to learn to have hard conversations. We're going to have to learn to live in a world with people we don't agree with, and sometimes we fervently don't agree with. We're going to have to become people who see all life as valid and important, and that we're able to fight for nonviolence and fight for peace. I mean, we are called to be peacemakers and help other people not just be focused on their own lives, but help us to be focused on others' lives as well. I mean, it's hard to love everybody at once, but that's the great thing about community, is bringing us together and finding out where's your passion lie. What communities are you concerned about? Everything that's going on with Israel and Palestine and things like that has just really weighed very, very heavy on my heart. And I feel like there's just been almost a deafening silence about some of that with a lot of people, especially in the church, which has been quite shocking to me, because Christianity for the first 300 years was a completely nonviolent movement. They took the words of Christ literally and became nonviolent and practiced peace and grace and things like that. And so I hope that's something that we can do, and that Revolution is really trying to encourage others to do and get more people to talk about it. It might not be comfortable conversation, but that's just part of life. We're always gonna have people we disagree with, and we're always gonna have people that way. So that's just living life on life standards, living life on life's terms. So hopefully we can do that, and we can do that, and Revolution will do that with your guys' continued support of Revolution Church, and you can go to revolutionchurch.com to help support us there, or you can just like and subscribe, that helps us too, and sharing our stuff on Instagram and your Facebook, and letting people know what we're doing, and just sharing links with folks about this work, so we can continue to move forward and continue the message of grace is anarchy. Everybody deserves grace. Everybody gets grace. I got to talk about that a little bit with in front of the analysts, and I was just like, hey, cancel culture doesn't work, because everybody deserves grace, and living in that kind of tension. And it was really wild to get feedback from people who really understand the human mind, and to be so encouraged. I even had one person said, well, maybe one day you can just start going just back to school and become an analyst yourself. And I was like, wow, could you imagine? But I really do love this work. I do really feel like it's carrying on my mom's memory and my mom's work, and creating my own thing as well. And you all make that possible, and I can't tell you how grateful I am for that. Well, I appreciate the book questions. I will also put together a separate video that I'll put up on here on Facebook as well. I'll put together a list of my top 20 books. Oh, Insurrection by Peter Rollins. That's another book I really enjoyed. That's a good one. He's got a lot of good books, Pete does. I'm trying to think if I have any of Pete's books behind me right now. I'll put that on the list. I'm going to put a list. I'm going to put together a separate video. I'm going to try to write up my top 20. Maybe I'll do top 10 this way, and then a top 10 for that, to particular types of books. And I'll post them here on YouTube, and I'll also post them on Instagram and Facebook as well. and continue to do that. You can also always feel free to message me and ask, and I'm glad to help. Don't leave us after getting a hit with the... Yeah, well, I don't want to leave. I'm not going to go anywhere. I just want to continue to love people. I wish there was a way for me to keep those comments up, because your comment was really nice. It just came up and it went away. Well, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I was really shocked that that was the comment I got for like, well, yeah, works hard. And someone's like, well, maybe you should just give up. I don't want to give up. I want to do this, you know. Oh, thank you, Linda. I want to do this work. I'd like to do this work full time again. You know, it's like, I don't know if I can pay my bills this month, you know, because my part-time work didn't come through, and the Revolution just hasn't become anything I can completely depend on right now for full time. But you guys really have helped a lot and made it possible for me to be able to do some, you know, groceries for my kids and things like that. I mean, we're really on a minimum budget right now. It's crazy. I honestly am tired of talking about raising funds, and I know other people are tired of hearing me about it, but that's just the issue with this work right now. But that's not what today's not the talk. Today's not the talk. But that's just, those are the needs. The needs is we do need your support. We do need more people to share the talks and like and subscribe and know what we're doing. But I just want to say I'm really grateful that I got a chance to do that, to speak to a standing room only full ballroom of therapists and analysts, and talk about my life and talk about my work and how affirming that was, and just how proud I am of all the folks involved with Tammy Faye on Broadway, that they got their first show done last night, and that my mom's legacy is continuing to be out there, and people are seeing the importance of what love can do, what unconditional love really can do, that loving people diversely is powerful. You know, one of the things I said about my mom when I spoke to the cast is, like, you know, she could be in a room full of drag queens one day and then a room full of Southern Baptists the next day. You know, she knew how to love people in every situation. And that's something we're missing nowadays. I think sometimes because we want to always think of people, we're uncomfortable with contradiction. We're uncomfortable, you know, we want goodies and baddies, you know, like, well, these are the good folks and these are the bad folks. And that's just not how life works. I mean, look at what's happening with Israel and Palestine. There's not one good side, you know, you know, it's complicated and it's horrible, and we see the worst of what happens to human beings when they can't learn to disagree well. So that is, oh, sorry, oh my gosh, somebody asked about grace and it went up so fast and went back down. If you send that question one more time, I'll try to answer it if it was a question. If it was a comment, I'll just look at it later. But sorry, I don't know why the comments, they used to line up for me, but now they just pop up. YouTube is always changing things. But yeah, we have so many complicated things in this world, and I think we can see why we need to get away from that mindset of that binary mindset. We need to be able to embrace dialectics and, you know, realize that we all have a little bit of good, we all have a little bit of bad, and then it, you know, the ways we kind of figure that out and how we're constructive about that is by getting to know each other, not being afraid of one another, and not remaining strangers and not scapegoating others. Yeah, I saw a question disappear. Oh, maybe my question disappeared then. What was your question? If you can just rewrite it and pop it up, I'll see if it's there and try to answer it for you if I know the answer. We're not going to post this on. Oh, okay. Wondering if you changed. Oh no. Wonder if you check. Okay, I grew up a COG and I am retired and I think it's around the mark of the faith. Oh my gosh, they went so fast. All right, everybody, I'm sorry. I'm going to see if I can do something here that will let me see. Here, hold on one second. I think I might have found it. All chats visible. Welcome to live chat. Remember, okay, yeah, thank you. No, I don't want to learn more. All right, guys, I'm sorry. These messages aren't not pop. They, so, two people sent it at once. So one came up and the other one came up and popped the other one down. Like they used to go by lines. I'm gonna try to figure that out. Oh. Someone said changing the language. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is my week, folks. I'm sorry. Totally laugh out loud. I love you guys. I'm a mess. I'm tired, but I'm gonna do a talk tomorrow and get that up for you. I just wanted to touch bases with you guys. I feel like I don't like missing my time with you folks in the gathering. This is important to me as well, and I love you all because I feel like we're all kind of going through this together, and we're a small group of people who are kind of focused on loving the world a little bit better, the best we can, you know? Yes, big finger. So I love you guys. I can't appreciate you. I try my best here, and will continue to make the best effort possible. As my AA sponsor used to say, that I was haphazardly human, and I guess that comes through every aspect of my work. And well, thank you, Kitty. I love you all too, very much, and that's what I want to do. I just want to continue for us to love each other and love others better and love others more. So we can all sit in a room full of drag queens one day and then a room of Baptists the next, or all sorts of people. We can radically love folks, you know, and then when people say, oh, when we die, they can say, oh, they just loved too many types of different people. They loved too much. Wouldn't that be a cool legacy? So, well, I'll be haphazardly human, and I hope that gives you all permission to be haphazardly human. And I just want to celebrate those victories with you. Is the Tammy Faye the Tammy Faye play? I'm going to be going down for the official. They do like previews, you know, for the first month, and so they can tweak the production, I guess. But the official is like November 14th. So I'm going to be there for that, and I'll share all that with you too. But I wanted to share that with you. And also just the fact of me being able to be in a room with therapists and analysts, and, you know, it wasn't a Christian event at all or anything like that, but being able to speak about this stuff and talk about this stuff with people who are really out there dealing with people, every type of issue under the sun, you know, and having the opportunity to speak to folks like that and even encourage them. You know, I encourage them because I'm like, your work has changed so many people's lives. I said, what we need to do now is make your work more available to others, because people really need this. People are suffering. We're all going through hard times. We need to have affordable theology. That's free, unfortunately. We need to have more affordable therapy and affordable people to see analysts and make it actually affordable. You know, it doesn't need to be only for people who have money, because we're all suffering. We're all going through a rough time. So cool things are happening. It's just one step at a time. It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, and that's where we're at. So, hey, put on, if you want to, I will have a talk up tomorrow. I'm not sure what time that'll go up. I got to get the kids off to school and everything, but then I'll try to get home and get that up for you. So don't forget to turn on your alerts. If you haven't yet today, like this little tiny talk, and I will continue. I will look at those questions and try to answer them also on separate videos, if you will. You can also send questions over to the Revolution Instagram page, because I will see those and make sure I do something to answer those. If I don't answer them right straight out, we'll do a video. And I will work on doing like a top 20 book recommendation, and maybe split that into 2 or even 4, so it's not completely overwhelming. Maybe if I do that, if I do it into like 4 sections, we can kind of even give you a little background on each book and how it affected my life, and how, you know, little synopsis or something. So thanks for meeting with me, guys. Thanks for encouraging me today. Thanks for your questions that I only got to answer one because I don't know how to use YouTube quite well. But we'll figure it out together. And let's just be grateful that the toilet, that Revolutions, that this phone survived the toilet. And that's we're able to have this time together. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for you all. So love each other, and I will talk to you all very soon. And we will have a brand new Revolution gathering on Monday. So there's something to look forward to on a Monday. Maybe that'll brighten our Mondays together. Love you all so much. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.